great, and I can see it looks like you have a screen up with some inline form errors. So okay, I'm with you.
Okay, okay. I put on speaker. I want to put down the receiver. Excuse me.
Okay. You still there?
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay, good. I'm gonna turn you up.
Okay.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to show you is this is what Janet wants the landing page for the project, the content to look like.
Okay.
Well, so first we'll have each page, one page with a list of all the projects,
Okay.
and then the project ID linking to a project page.
Sure.
And this is the content that she wants in the order she wants. So this will be bold, title, investigator, and affiliation, a brief little whatnot, and then, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to move that away. I try to open up the menus because unfortunately it was still slow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So it looks like you're trying to save a field that has. You're trying to save an.
you know what? I know what I did wrong. It's okay. I fixed it.
Okay. Okay. Great. Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
So it looks like it's looking for an entity reference field, and it's a single value entity reference field, and it looks like we're possibly trying to put in values that aren't being able to be found. So like,
I put it in a row rather than.
yeah. So if you try to look at one at a time, and it should do a lookup for you, and then you can click those to, yeah. Or it looks like you, yeah. Okay, so I see you've separated them below. So yeah, you can just delete those fields probably.
I did that.
Yeah, if you just clear it out like you just did, that should be fine. And if you do it with the one below too, I think you're gonna have to clear out that field, clear out the values in there. Yep. And then if you save that now, that should work, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to do a copy and paste, and then I realized, oh no, I have to put it in each individually.
Yeah, it wants to find the actual entity that's saved in the Drupal database, and that way there's a reference to that actual entity. And then it looks like there's one more issue here. What does it say? Content has either been modified by another user or you submitted. Okay, so it's possible you have another page of this open somewhere, I believe. Is it open anywhere? Huh. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, can you go back to the edit screen there? Yeah, so it says content has either been modified by another user or you have already submitted modification. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the view screen of this page, and then go back to the tab you were on. If you scroll up to the top, if you click view, and then let's try to edit it again and see what's going on here. And if you click edit on this page, okay, if you scroll down, I want to see what values you have in those fields. Okay, so that looks like it's working. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so let's go back to the here. So as you can see, based on what she wants.
Okay.
So she wants it to be wants it at the bottom of here, but she wants it to be listed this way.
Uh-huh. Okay. So let's look at we might be able to set up some of this stuff.
But I noticed like these are hyperlinked,
Yes.
which we don't want.
Okay. Okay, so by having them hyperlinks, you actually there is some advantage to it because it allows you to aggregate other content that's been tagged the same way. But if you don't want to do that, then we can change that. So let's open up a new tab and let's edit this content type. So open up a new tab in your browser. With like this, like at the website, yeah. Yeah, so you can like just duplicate this. Here, what you can do is control click on structure. If you control click on the structure, yeah, that will open a new tab. Okay, perfect. And then go to that tab. And if you go to content types, and now if you go to RDRC projects, because that's the content type that we're editing there, you can manage the display. And now, is this the keyword field, or what field are we looking at?
Program and focal areas and keywords.
Okay, so, sorry, program and focus area. Okay, so you said in line with the. Okay, that's great. And then where it says, if you click the gear icon to the right of those fields, you should be able to unclick the checkbox that says link label to reference entity, and then update that, and do the same for the one below it. And then if you save that, looks like you gotta update that, and then click save once that's ready. If you go back to and refresh the tab to the left, like if you click the tab you have open there and refresh that page, okay, try maybe that should have worked. Is this not the right content type? If you click, can you click edit on this page real quick? Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're on the right content type here. Edit RC projects. Okay, yeah, so that should be the right content type. All right, let's go back to the manage display page. Link to, okay, so that didn't save. So can you click the icon to the right, the gear icon to the right of one of those pages again? Okay, uncheck that box and press update and let that run for a second. Okay, now press save at the bottom of this page.
Why didn't it work before?
I think we might have clicked save before the load had happened. Yeah, let's do it for the other one. I think we saved it too quick, I imagine. Before that AJAX call there was finished, and then so that's good. Now let's click save one more time. I'm not even sure we have to hit that save at the bottom because that AJAX call might do it for us, but just to be safe, let's do that, and then let's reload this. Let's go to view again and then take a look at that. Oh, what the heck? They're still linking out. Huh, and then if you go back to and if you reload the manage display there, is it back to where it was? If you reload this page? Okay. Okay, default, and then you have full content. So you have two view modes here. Can you click on the full content view mode? So do you see under the tabs at the upper left-hand corner it says default and then full content? A little bit lower where your mouse is, just very slightly lower. Yep, click on full content. I wonder if we're using the full content view mode for some reason. I don't know why we would be, but try changing that here. Unclicking that and then update and save that. See if that, and then if we reload the tab to the left, see if that does anything for us. Okay, so for some reason we're using that other, we're using full content view mode. So you should also be able to,
Never ever would have figured that out.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Never. And I tried and looked, and I would never have thought that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been the first thing I thought of either. I'm not sure why we're using a separate view mode here. I don't know if that's something we set up at some point that I don't remember, or if that's now a default Drupal thing. But you should also be able to, it looks like it's not really working too well, but you should be able to use that to set the label inline as well. Although it doesn't seem like that's working. Okay, so that, at least that got rid of your hyperlinks. Okay, let's take a look in here. And then, so keyword is tried to set inline. Let's let's set the label. Set that to inline as well. I'm not sure why that's not working there. And then I'm curious what other formats you have available to you instead of label. I think we want to keep the label, which is the actual title of the taxonomy that you're referencing. But I just want to see what other options. Under format column, can you click the label select list? I just want to see what's available there. I assume it's going to be like entity. Yep, render entity, entity. Okay, nope, you're good with the label. We want to have the label. The label's the right one to use. Okay. Okay, so, and then you have to change that back now. Yeah.
Why did it go back?
I think it's just a poor UI thing. So it's doing some kind of call to the database there to get some information. So yeah, it's just a bad UI. And then just save this form one more time, just to be safe. And it doesn't look like your style is picking up on the inline stuff, which is unfortunate. So we might have to do that with our own CSS. So if you reload this.
Now, should we go back in the, so that we can put a semicolon at the end, because that's what she wants before the listing?
Oh yeah, she wants a semicolon there. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of the best way to actually do this. You could put the semicolon in the label itself if you wanted to do that. Yeah, you could do it there. That's probably the shortest way to do it. I'm also trying to think if there was, probably could use like a multi-value field instead of having all these individual fields, because we have to worry about the commas as well, right? So there should be commas in between those. I'm trying to think of a clever way to add those. Yeah, and then if you look at your display now, see what that looks like. So it looks like there's some bugs in Drupal happening here, to be honest. I don't think the entity reference fields, the labels aren't working. Those should go in line when we ask them to be in line. And I'm not seeing an option to have multi-value appear with commas either. So do you know what I mean? Like we can style these to be all in the same line. That's not going to be super hard. But adding the commas in there is going to be a little difficult.
Well, how about, can we at least get them in the proper position that she wants the page to be?
Yeah, let's do that. So
So, let me, I'll show you. You want me to show you again?
yeah, let me take a look at what that looks like again.
It'll be the ID, I guess we're calling it, the title,
Okay.
and then creator, and then it'll be the blur.
Okay, so we wanted the title below that. So hadn't we changed this the last time we talked, Debbie? Didn't we make the title the ID, and then we made that?
Yeah, and then I had to recreate all those pages again.
Yeah. So what?
I did.
Okay. So I'm curious what's happening here. I thought we had done that at one point. If you scroll up on this page.
I was just gonna,
Okay. So yeah, okay.
I created individual pages.
Yeah, so can you click into one of those pages, Debbie? Like one of the ones with, yeah, with the title as that?
This is all it's on.
And this is what you're
So
getting.
research on here.
Well, okay.
So this page is fine.
Yeah.
This now is all.
And then when you click into those. Okay, I know what we need to do, I think. Let's go back to the Manage Display tab, the second tab you have open there on in your browser. And okay. So project ID hidden body links. Interesting. Can you scroll down on this page a little bit? Project. Now I'm confused how. Are we not using the body field? We must not be using the body field. Yeah, that's really confusing to me. Can you go back to the edit screen that you have open to the left there and scroll up again? So we have project ID, then project name, and somehow on the display the project name is appearing above. Oh, and then we have project ID again. Okay, I know what's happening here. The title is not displaying on this page. Okay, so we have to change the block visibility settings to display the title, and we want to delete the project ID field completely. We don't need that anymore, right? Since that's being put into the title. Yeah, so what we're going to do is if you go back to the Manage Display tab you have open to the left. Yep, and then if you go up on this page and you go to the tab that says Manage Fields, we no longer need this project ID field because we have it duplicated, right? So we have it under our title and we have it here. Even though it's not displaying, it is being saved. Actually, before we delete this, we can let's add the title. So in any one of your tabs, it doesn't matter. Let's keep the first two tabs that we have open, and any one of these other tabs, let's just let's go to Structure. Yeah, so click that tab and then click Structure and then click Block Layout, and then if you scroll down to where the title is, that should be in the content region, I believe. Content, okay, so page title disable. Let's enable the page title, and if we don't want it for all pages, we can just set it for certain content types. So let's enable that first. And we'll move it up to right below the tabs section. Okay, scroll down a little bit. And then move the, okay, it's in the right spot. Okay, and then next to configure on the very right of page title, click configure, and let's have it only display for RDRC projects. So exactly, yeah, click that, save that. And now if you click the first tab you have open, the Edit RDRC Projects page, yep, that first one, and then click View here, the View tab, yep. So now this should display the title. Okay, so there's a title there, and then there's the description, and then there's the project ID field, which we're going to remove. So
I probably don't. I put this in myself, but I probably don't need that.
okay.
And why is the project name down the bottom? Because that would actually should be up here, right?
Oh, okay. So can you go back to that word?
It should be this first,
Then project name? Okay. So let's go back to the Manage Fields tab, the second tab you have open, and go to Manage Display, that far right tab. And let's make sure we're using the right view mode. So we want to click on Full Content, because I think Full Content is the one that is actually corresponding to this. And then pull that project name right up under, right up all the way to the top there. So you see project name at the bottom, grab that, drag it all the way to the top.
So the one that needs ID?
So project, we're going to delete that field. You can leave it there. So either way, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the program and keywords should go at the end of the...
Okay, so yeah, just order it. So basically you would just order these fields in whatever manner that you want them to display.
Well, I thought I did it, but it doesn't seem to.
I think we probably did it for the default view mode, and it looks like we're using a different view mode here for the display, so we just have to do it again for these.
Local area keywords. Okay, so looking at this, I mean, it should work.
Okay, so yeah, give that a save, and then once that's done saving, reload that tab you have to the left and see what the display looks like after that. See if it's a little closer. Yeah, give that a reload. So that description is still appearing. So that must be in our body. So let's move it above. Yeah, that's. Yeah. Okay, so let's move. You can keep that there. You don't have to. If you want to keep that, that's fine. We just want to move. Oh, is that the same thing as the title? Oh, it's the same thing. Gotcha. Okay. Yep. So we probably want to move that description above the body anyway. So if you go back to Manage Display, I would actually move the project name above body anyways. And just in case you add some body text in the future, it's going to appear above and it's going to look confusing. So yeah, click that tab. And then move project name above the body field. Yeah, and then save that. Yeah, give that a save. And then the last thing I would do is I'd come back into the manage field spot. So after the saves, scroll to the top where it says manage fields in the tab. Yep, there I would just go and I would delete the project ID field because it's duplicative at this point. We have that under our title, and I'll show you where that is one more time in a second. So yeah, delete that field.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think we need it anymore because we saved all the titles. Yep, so give that a delete. And then if you look back, I'll show you in a second. So if you go back to the Edit tab over here, Debbie, click Edit. So we renamed the title field to be Project ID. So do you see where it says Title Field Label? We made that the Project ID. So we had on every single page we were saving the Project ID 2 different times, and we don't need the second field anymore. We only need the title Project ID. So if you go to your main page and you refresh that, you'll still have the title up top, but you'll get rid of that one that appears right below the project name. We don't need it twice. So it should look like that. Perfect. And now you can style that however you want. It doesn't have to be large. Like right now it's using some kind of header HTML tag so it appears large like that and it has some space.
I don't want that.
Yeah, so you can.
I don't want that.
You don't want.
I don't want that.
Do you don't want it to say project name? So we can go back to the Manage Display tab. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I go to the Manage Display tab again. Yep. And then Manage Display. Then make sure we're on the right view mode exactly. Full content. And then I would just project name where it says label, it says above, I would just say visually hidden or hidden. Yeah, one of those. Either one of those works. And then for any one of those ones that you want to appear hidden, say hidden. and focus in, okay, and those should be inline even though those don't appear to be working. And then save that. And if you reload your page, that label should disappear. Okay, so now content-wise, we're pretty close to what it's supposed to look like, right? It just, we need it to be styled a little differently. Is that correct?
Yeah, that should be too much space, and this needs to be single space.
So yeah, so
It's like, I'm going to go home quick, on this home quick.
okay.
No, wrong one, sorry. Here. Like, I don't know why this one should be all double spaced. It should all be single.
Yeah.
But let's just skip. I'll worry about that after. It went away.
Okay. Was that was our view before? Is this the same thing I think we had before? So RDRC should be lowercase, I believe. If you change that in your URL, if you actually write that in lowercase, does it work? No. Drupal RDRC projects.
I'd open the head of the whole list of all the IDs.
Yeah, so you can go to your view. If you go to views, so go to that fourth tab you have open there. And where's that view that we had? RDRC projects. Okay, so RDRC project. Click that. So Drupal RDRC projects. Why can that not be found? That's interesting. And that was working a minute ago?
Yeah, it was that whole list that I had, so that it would, maybe by deleting that ID has something to do with it?
Shouldn't have. Let's go. Can you click the go back on that on your browser real quick? The go back, like the go back button, yeah. And then let's edit that view RDRC projects. I think it's looking for it not in the Drupal. I don't know. That's very strange. I feel like it's not looking in the right spot. Oh,
Well,
okay.
it doesn't have
The ID anymore?
yeah.
Title hid. Why is title hidden? Content title, project name. For some reason, that title's hidden. If you click on the up top, yeah, click on title there. If you uncheck exclude from display, that should make it appear and apply. Scroll down. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I mean, you can save that. I'm not sure why this view isn't appearing. I feel like it's not looking in the right pattern, so I think it's trying to go into maybe not Drupal RDRC. So let's save this.
Where am I can see it?
Scroll up, and then right there. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. It puts it above the preview for some reason. Yeah, it's very interesting. And once that saves, click the link again. Can you try to just go to RDRC projects without the Drupal? Ooh. Yeah. Okay, I guess go back there. In your view, in that fourth tab, let's play with the view side. I feel like we had this issue last time. I can't remember what's happening here, but if you scroll down a little bit on this page, I think we got to play with this. Try open that in another tab. That RDRC. Where'd it go? I think it's up a little. Do you see the RDRC project view? Oh, it's disabled. Okay, let's enable it. That might be part of our issue. Somehow that got disabled. I don't know how that happened. And then can you control click on the RDRC projects link in the far right where it says page? Up a little bit. Down a little bit. Up. So RDRC projects, yeah, the link that says RDRC/projects, can you control click on that? Yeah, and see what's happening there. Okay, it's back. I think it got disabled somehow. I'm not sure what we did there. Maybe deleting some of those fields like you said. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but now if you click the link in your main menu, does it still link there? So if you click yeah, research projects, exactly. Okay, I think we're back. For some reason that view got disabled. I'm not sure if that's something we did with changing some of the configuration or updating that view mode, but I think we're okay now. So
all I know, Jim, is there is no way I've been able to figure this out.
I think you'd get it eventually. I think honestly it is confusing to me too. I'm not sure what happened there. I wish I could give you a better explanation. It was a little confusing, but yeah, I guess if it disappears again for some reason, I would look to the views and see if it's disabled for some reason. And if it's like a recurring problem, then we'll have to try to figure out what's causing it. But hopefully it was just like a weird thing that happened when we updated the configuration there. So yeah, I think we're getting close. So content-wise, I think we're there, right? So like the aggregate page works and it's generally okay. This page structurally is in the right order now, and the content is close, right? We just need to style it a little differently. So I think we do this just like we did any of the other CSS. So you could right click on whatever you're interested in there. So like that title, for instance, we want it to be smaller and underlined and no space, right? So let's take a look at that. So it's using an H1. I think that's a good idea to keep it as an H1 because that's the title of the page, and for accessibility reasons, it's helpful for non-sighted users to see what the title of the page is. But what we can do here is, you see where it says inline style at the top of that CSS section there? Yeah, so if you click in there, we can play around with some styles and see if we can make it look a little better. So I would click inside the brackets there. Yeah, and then and then I would say margin, colon. Yep, and then 0. Then enter. And then I would do the same thing, padding, colon 0, in the same way. So I'd click, if you click in between those brackets right after the margin 0, you should be able to create, yeah, exactly, padding, colon 0. Okay, and then if you hover, can you hover over the H1 again? Yeah, okay, so I'm seeing, okay, so do you see where our style seems to be getting overridden? There's W3 padding 24 important, padding bottom important. So somebody's using important tags, which is not great. So if we want to override this, we have to add our own important tags. This is the danger of using important tags throughout your CSS. It becomes a battle of who can override who versus who. Like normally CSS works like if you're being more specific than the other person, you can override things or override things for certain areas and not others. But when you start using these important tags, it becomes really difficult to start doing that. So I think in this case, let's try to override it. So if you click the 0 next to where, what's that? Yeah, well, let's try to get it working on this end first, and then when we have that, we can copy and paste it in the CSS file. So for now, I'd click on where it says 0. Okay. That's okay. So can you click on like the 0 to the right of where we said, so margin and then 0? Can you click on the actual 0 there? Yeah, and then so after that, say keep it 0 and say 0 space exclamation point important, just kind of like the 24. Yeah, exactly. And give it the important tag with an exclamation point. So.
Exclamation important.
Yep, exactly. Let's see if that does anything for us. And then enter, and do the same thing with the one above it. Yeah, same exact thing. Oop. Yeah, so you can just, yeah, click, yeah, exactly. There, and then space, important, and just press enter. And that, do you see how it like unpacked all those margin top, margin right, margin bottom? Basically, that's all implied there. So, yep, enter. So do you see how, actually, do you know what, for the margin, I think we want to keep the margin as is. So uncheck that margin. So in the inline style, do you see how there's checkboxes next to everything there? To that top one that says margin, just uncheck that one real quick. And you can see how, yeah, and you see how it's affecting the page on the left-hand side? Do you see how that jumped over to the right space? You can toggle it. If you want to check it again, you can see the difference. So look how the things that you're doing on this right-hand side in this panel, you can see how it's affecting the styles on the left-hand side, right? So if you check the margin box and you uncheck it, you can see what's happening with that title. So I think basically we want to remove the padding there. You could remove, so over here, do you see what says margin top, margin bottom underneath the margin there? Try checking the margin top and the margin bottom ones only. So check that and then check margin bottom. Do you see how that affected the page on the left hand side? So yeah, basically we're getting a lot closer to what we want here. Another thing we might want to do is we might want to make the text a little smaller, so you could do something like underneath where you did the padding 0 important, you could say something like font hyphen size, and you could set it to a smaller size. So why don't you give that a shot?
Yeah. Okay,
so like underneath, yeah, just click right to exactly, then do font hyphen size, and then colon. And you could measure this a lot of different ways. You can do this in ems or pixels. It looks like below they're doing a font size of 36 pixels, so you could do something like font size 18 pixels important. So 18 px space, and then you have to give the important tag here because we have to override all this stuff. And then enter. So you can see how it gets a lot smaller. And then it looks like you checked the margin at the top again. So uncheck the main keep the margin top, but it looks like you checked the, yeah, uncheck that. Exactly, okay. So, what's that? Yeah, so you can set it to whatever you think is appropriate. And then the last thing I think you want to do is set a text decoration of underline. So if you click in there again, you can add one more style. You want to do it after that, yeah, so click out of that. And then, yeah, exactly. So text, I think it's text decoration, hyphen decoration. See if that pops up. Oh, yes, okay. And then you can tab through. Oop. You start typing it out. You should be able to, yeah, click that or tab through. Press tab and it should autocomplete, I believe. Oh, maybe not, sorry. Or you can just type it out. Yeah, decoration. Then tab. And then just say underline, because I believe that's what it looked like in the Word document that you showed me. Yep. And then enter. Okay, so you can see that now over here the ID is underlined. So that looks a lot closer to what you were trying to get, right?
Yeah. And what about this spacing?
Yeah, so let's first transfer this first thing. I like to chunk these things together, so I would basically copy this and I would paste it into the actual CSS file where the stuff's stored. What's that? So on the right hand side where we were writing the styles, you can just actually copy those individually. So everything in between, yeah. So we're gonna have to delete some of this stuff, but I can show you how to do that manually. But yeah, I'd copy everything between those brackets.
So we should probably open it up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so open up the CSS file where we've been saving all the styles. We'll copy this and we'll paste it in there.
I remember. Let me just see if I have it. Go in the right place?
Yeah, I believe it's in your theme, folder. And then I can't remember what theme we're using. I think it's that one. And then yeah, in your CSS folder.
I think it's for.
Oh, it's in custom. Okay. Oh yes, you're right. And then in your CSS folder here, because we're using a sub theme. Correct. Yep. And then whatever one we were. Yeah. So in here, you could actually go in your sub theme. I would delete a lot. I mean, for now, let's just put what we have. But like, you could get rid of some of those important tags because those are kind of frustrating to work with. But yeah, I would copy everything inside those brackets. So if you just like, you can that might work. But you can actually just like, if you just like hold down and like if you go to the end of where it says text decoration, you just like click and you drag up. You should be able to highlight those, I believe. Is that not letting you do that? Maybe it's not going to let you do it. Well, you can rewrite it manually or however you want to copy it. You just yeah, copy rule, see if that works. Okay, perfect. Well, that helped. So we have the padding, we have the font size, we have the text decoration. Great. Now let's just add the margin in. We can do that manually. I would just say there's a couple ways you can do it. The probably easiest way is do margin -top.
Should I just do it under here?
Yeah, do it anywhere inside those brackets. So you can press enter there, then do margin -top, :0, important, semicolon, and then do the same thing, margin -bottom. And now and then 0, important. Make sure you have the exclamation point in the front of that word. And then now all we have to do is we have to say what we are assigning this to. So right now it's not being assigned to anything. So if we go back to the page we were on, so we're using an H1, and then I usually would try to get something a little more specific than just grabbing every H1. So I would try to get something about like the type of page we're on. So if you go all the way to the top where in the HTML pane on the right hand side, yeah, go all the way to the top there, and then kind of scroll over to the left so we can see what we're looking at inside that pane. Yeah. So in the body there, you see, so we have a bunch of classes on that body tag. Is there anything that says like, scroll over a little bit, so it says page node type? So page node type RDRC projects. Copy that. That's a good one to grab. So in the body where it says classes, there's one that says page node type RDRC. It goes to the next line. Your mouse is almost on it. Oop, you're going a little farther away. Go up a little bit. So do you see the body tag? Click on the body tag. Right underneath head it says body. And yeah, click on that. So in the classes there, where it says class equals and there's a bunch of stuff, there's a page node RDRC, a page node type RDRC. Yeah, copy that. So double click in there. You double click in there. Yep, and then scroll over to the left or the right if you can. Yep, and then just grab page. Yeah, copy all of that already to the end of project. Yeah, if you just copy that, that'd be enough. We can fix it on our end. And then go back to your editor. Okay, and then before the curly bracket, so Up a little bit.
Curly bracket.
Yeah, before it. So if you go up a little more.
More?
Yep, if you go all the way to the top before our curly bracket.
Oh.
Yep, exactly. That's where. So enter, and then yeah. So you do kind of like you have above. So you want body dot, and then
No?
it's close. So you actually want, so that would be an ID. IDs start with a hash, and this is a class. So you want to say, and you can make it really specific by just saying body dot page node, because this class is at the same level of the ID, and the way that you show that things are at the same level is you don't have any spaces. So you actually don't want a space. You want it to be body dot with 0 space. If you put a space, it implies that something is nested. If you said body space, you're telling the CSS that you expect to have this class within the body, but they're at the exact same level, so there should be no space. So body.page, okay. And then if you do a space afterwards, after where it says project, and then you say h1, it's going to say, okay, any header 1 within the body that has the class page node type RDRC project, style it this way. And that's exactly what we want to do. Anytime we find a header 1 within this type of page, we want it to have this style. So if you save that, that should work now. And then if you flush your caches like we normally do and reload that page, you should be good to go. And actually, I'm going to have to hop off the call in about 5 minutes. So hopefully this works for you, and then you'll have some direction to go with from here. But if we have any follow-up questions, we can do another call next week if that works for you, Debbie.
I think I definitely won't have to call you next week. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, some of the spacing, but at least I know that when I put the content in, it's going to be in the right spot.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully the CSS stuff is kind of familiar. It should be very similar to some of the stuff we did in the past, but hopefully we can get this working, and at least you'll have somewhere to work off of, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So once this page loads, hopefully we can click into one of those, and then we'll see that, okay, the projects are not found again. Something weird is happening here. I don't know if it's a caching thing or what, but somehow that looks like it got disabled again somehow. So yeah, reload this page here. Is it okay? And then click on that. Okay. There's some weird caching or something is happening somewhere. So what's the difference between those pages? Oh, is it capitalization maybe? I'm not sure. It's working now, right? So that's very strange. I think there's something weird happening with some of the loading here. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they'll have to be a problem for another day. So let's click into one of those individual pages, and let's take a look at it and see if or just reload that page. That works too. Yep. And then click into one of those. Okay, so the style doesn't seem to be applying here. Let's right click on this and and inspect the element there and see if we can see if our style is being overridden or what's happening here. So make sure you clicked onto the H1 there. So right above the span. Okay. So I'm not seeing our style come through anywhere here. Um, let's go back to our CSS file there. Can you make sure that the bracket starts on the same line as where it says body page node H1? I don't think that matters, but that'd be a good thing to try for consistency, just for consistent style. Yeah, so backspace that up one. Yeah.
You're okay?
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. And save that. And I believe it's valid CSS to have those separated, but I might be wrong. So yeah, I'd clear the cache, just try that again. If that's not working, then we might want to just double check that that's the right file, because that's not where we had written the CSS in the past. I would actually recommend just trying to write the CSS in the same file that you've been writing. Oh, is it the same file? It is. Okay, my mistake. Okay, so that should work generally then. Let's let that save and see if it works with the bracket being on the same line, see if that makes a difference to us. And then if not, then we'll have to do a little bit of debugging to see what's happening there. Maybe our class name is a little messed up. So let's reload that. Yeah, reload that page, see if that does anything for us. And then if not, then there's a good chance that our selectors are not quite right. So that the body dot, node page type RDRC project, we might have made a mistake. I think it's RDRC projects, isn't it? So I think we're missing an S actually, now that my memory is kind of coming back to me. So if you go to your CSS file, you can double check on your page if you want, but I believe it's RDRC projects, I think is the name of this. So I would save that, flush your caches, and give that another shot. But you can always double check on your actual body class there if you inspect that element. But yeah, give that a shot. Hopefully that comes through. File, put contents, twig. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's happening there. If you reload the page, is that error still showing up?
I was just waiting for the...
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, give that a reload, see what happens there. And I do have to hop off. Hopefully this comes through for us. If not, then I think unfortunately we're gonna have to look at this again another time later. But I think that was our issue there. I think it was the fact that we were using the wrong class name there, so it wasn't sure how to pick up on that. But I guess we'll know in about 5 more seconds whether that's the case or not. Okay, so that finished loading. Still an issue, it looks like. Oh, here we go. Okay, there it is. So it's working. So yeah, I would say just go through and you can write the rest of the styles for this page according to like the same model there. And then hopefully that all works out for you. If you have any other questions about it, just feel free to let me know and we can loop back in on this. But I unfortunately do have to hop off now to hop on another call.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Yeah, no, thank you. And good luck with this stuff, and just let me know how it goes, and we can loop back in if you have any questions.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Debbie.
Thank you.
All right, see ya.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Bye.